These aren't your typical heroes. They're god-tier powerhouses who would rather be hilariously average. It's like owning a supercar but telling everyone you drive a beat-up sedan. For their own unique reasons, they put on a masterclass in blending in, hiding their world-breaking power behind a mask of mediocrity. Who accidentally starts a war just to fulfill a role-playing fantasy? And what Demon King is so overpowered, no one believes him. We're counting down the ultimate characters who go to extreme lengths to pretend they're weak. At number 10, Rudeus Greyrat. Kicking off our list is a character who's a bit of a complex case. Rudeus Greyrat isn't always pretending to be weak. He's just genuinely crippled by the insecurities from his past life. A 34-year-old shut-in gets reincarnated into a world of swords and sorcery, keeping all his memories. From infancy, he finds he has an immense talent for magic, mastering spells without incantations, a feat that's incredibly rare in this new world. His true power comes from mixing the scientific knowledge of his old life with a massive mana pool, letting him invent devastating new spells. For example, he uses his understanding of meteorology to create a naturally occurring thunderstorm, something his tutors thought impossible. And yet, even with power that rivals seasoned mages, Rudeus is constantly wrestling with self-doubt. His power isn't hidden by a deliberate disguise, but by a deep psychological barrier stemming from a life of being bullied and isolated. It's like being a world-class singer who's too shy to perform outside the shower. This makes his journey of self-acceptance and the gradual reveal of his abilities so satisfying to watch. So this is Rudeus Greyrat from Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Next up, at number 9, Léon Fou-Bart-Fort. Imagine being reborn into a video game. You were forced to beat a matriarchal world, where men are basically just pawns in the marriage market for powerful women. That's the nightmare Léon Fou-Bart-Fort wakes up in. Remembering everything from his past life, including the game's cheat codes, he decides he's not playing along. Using that knowledge, he finds a lost piece of super technology, a powerful airship, and its snarky AI, Luxion, which has the power to wipe out entire civilizations. Armed with tech that can take out armies, Leon is ridiculously overpowered. It's the equivalent of bringing a stealth bomber to a knife fight. But his goal isn't to be a hero, he just wants a quiet, normal life. He enrolls in the Academy for Nobles, fully intending to be a forgettable background character. Of course, that's not how it works out. He constantly gets dragged into the main plot, like when he's forced into a duel against the Crown Prince and his allies. He not only defeats them, but trash-talks them the entire time, cementing his reputation as a troublemaker while desperately trying to keep up his "I'm just a nobody" act. His sarcastic attitude and sheer frustration at failing to escape the spotlight make every reveal of his true strength a hilarious and awesome moment. So this is Léon Fou-Bart-Fort from Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of otome games is tough for mobs. On to the next, we have at number 8, Kane von Silford. On to our next pick. When a Japanese teenager dies heroically saving someone, he gets the VIP treatment in the afterlife. Reborn as Kane von Silford, the third son of a noble family, he's summoned before the world's 7 gods. They're so impressed with his heroic deed that they each give him their divine protection, cranking his stats up to absurd levels before he's even 5 years old. It's like starting a new video game with every single cheat code already activated. Kane can use every form of magic, has superhuman strength, and is blessed to be a literal one-man army. But the problem? If anyone found out the gods juiced his stats that much, it would cause total chaos, and nations might see him as a threat. So, from a young age, Kane has to desperately hide what he can do. He's always holding back, pretending to be a talented but not too talented kid, which is nearly impossible when a casual spell from him is a world-shaking event. His struggle to seem normal leads to one hilarious misunderstanding after another, as he tries to live his dream of being a free-spirited adventurer without letting anyone know he's powerful enough to be a god himself. So this is Kane von Silford from the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, Servants of the Goddess. Moving on, at number 7, Kiyotaka Ayanokoji. Moving away from isekai, Ayanokoji is the undisputed poster boy for this trope in a modern setting. On the surface, he's a totally average, quiet student at an elite high school. He intentionally scores a perfect 50 on every single test, stays in the middle of the pack in physical exams, and avoids attention like the plague. But underneath that carefully crafted mask of mediocrity is a flawless, emotionless genius forged in a secret, brutal institution called the White Room. He's like a shark swimming silently beneath a calm sea of students. He has superhuman intelligence, terrifying physical abilities, and a mastery of human psychology that lets him manipulate everyone around him like chess pieces. He hides his skills, not out of modesty, but as a weapon to achieve his dream of a peaceful school life. He secretly orchestrates his class's rise from last place, masterminding complex victories during exams and conflicts while ensuring others take the credit. He is the ultimate puppet master, working from the shadows in one of the most intense psychological thrillers in anime. So this is Kiyotaka Ayano Kuji from Classroom of the Elite. Moving on to next, at number 6, Lul Tuatha Dé. What happens when you take the world's greatest assassin, a man who lived his whole life as a tool, and give him a second shot at life? You get Lul Tuatha Dé. After being betrayed and killed by his own organization, the old assassin is reincarnated by a goddess with one mission: kill the hero in 18 years. To help, she lets him pick from a menu of S-rank skills, which he combines with a lifetime of assassination experience. Born into a noble family of assassins, Lug sharpens his skills to a terrifying new level, weaving magic and modern knowledge into his deadly arts. To the world, he's a brilliant young noble and a skilled doctor. He even creates a successful cosmetics brand with one of his assistants, using it as a front for intelligence gathering and funding. He doesn't just pretend to be weak, he builds entirely separate, successful identities to serve as the perfect camouflage. It's like a secret agent running a popular bakery chain as their cover story. It's that elaborate. This allows him to move freely, gathering information and eliminating targets while maintaining his public face as a respectable aristocrat. So this is Lug Tuatha Dé from the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Moving on. At number 5, Lloyd Belladonna. This one flips the whole trope on its head in the best way. Lloyd isn't pretending to be weak. He genuinely thinks he is weak. Why? Because he grew up in Kunlun, the legendary village next to the world's deadliest dungeon, where everyone is a descendant of ancient heroes. Back home, he's the weakest person by a mile. It's like being a pro-league quarterback who's worried he won't make the cut on a middle school team. So, he moves to a starter town to become a soldier, hoping he can finally keep up with normal people. And the comedy just writes itself. The weak Lloyd can casually shatter boulders, outrun anyone, and use ancient, forgotten magic just to do basic chores, all while being completely oblivious to his own godlike power. He'll defeat a giant monster in one punch and then apologize for being so useless because, back home, those monsters are basically squirrels. His crippling lack of self-awareness and constant underestimation of his own abilities is what makes this one of the funniest takes on this whole idea. So this is Lloyd Belladonna from Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. Next, at number 4, Haruto Zenfis. Abandoned in a forest as a baby because his royal parents thought his magic level was pathetic, Haruto's life started out rough. A faulty scanner read his power as a measly 02 when it was actually a god tier 1002. It's like a computer bug labeling a nuke as a firecracker. Left for dead, Haruto uses his absurdly overpowered barrier magic to not only survive, but thrive. It turns out his useless magic is an ancient, versatile power that lets him do almost anything, from creating clones to fight for him, to teleporting, and even creating TV screens to stream anime from his past life. After being adopted by a distant relative, he spends his life trying to lay low and achieve his ultimate dream, becoming a lazy shut-in. He's constantly downplaying his abilities, partly because he's still convinced he's nothing special, and partly because he just wants everyone to leave him alone. His attempts to seem average, while his barrier magic casually defies reality, create endless comedic situations. So this is Haruto Zenfis from Am I Actually the Strongest? So, now here comes our top 3 picks. At number 3, Wang Ling. If there was an award for most effort to seem average, Wang Ling would win it, no contest. Born with near-omnipotent power, Wang Ling is a cultivation genius who could probably erase reality with a single sneeze, but all he wants is a normal, peaceful high school life. To get it, he goes to unimaginable lengths. He wears a special amulet to suppress his immense power and carefully controls his emotions, since any strong feeling could trigger a world-ending event. He's basically a walking nuclear reactor trying to pass itself off as a phone charger. In a school full of cultivators, he struggles to just blend in, leading to a constant, chaotic, and hilarious balancing act. During a spiritual power test, the machine malfunctions not because he's weak, but because it can't handle his unlimited energy, forcing a teacher to intervene. Every day is a new challenge where he has to carefully engineer his results to be perfectly mediocre, but trouble always finds him, forcing him to secretly intervene, fix the problem with a flick of his wrist, and then desperately try to cover his tracks. So this is Wang Ling from The Daily Life of the Immortal King. Next up, at number 2, Anos Valdigod. Anis is a special case. He doesn't pretend to be weak, he's just so incomprehensibly powerful that no one believes he's telling the truth. After sacrificing himself to create peace, the Demon King of Tyranny reincarnates 2,000 years later and enrolls in the very academy created in his name. The only problem? In his absence, history was rewritten, and magic grew so weak that his immense power is literally immeasurable by modern standards. It's like showing a caveman an iPhone. They don't have the context to understand what they're seeing, so they just call it a shiny rock. His teachers label him a misfit, the lowest possible rank. Anos constantly tells everyone that he's the reincarnated Demon King, but they all just laugh at him. He'll snuff out a massive fire spell with a single breath, bring someone back from the dead just to make a point, and even stop time with his heartbeat. In one legendary moment, he lifts his opponent's entire castle with one hand and casually throws it. Yet, his classmates and teachers try to explain it away as a cheap trick. His calm, unshakable confidence in the face of everyone's disbelief is what makes this show such a legendary power fantasy. So this is Anos Voldegod from the Misfit of Demon King Academy. And now here is our winning pick. At number 1, Sid Kaganu, aka a Shadow. And finally, at number 1, we have the character who is turned pretending to be a background character into a true art form. Sid Kaganu's one and only goal in life, both in modern Japan and after being reincarnated, is to become the Eminence in Shadow, a secret mastermind pulling the strings from behind the scenes. To do this, he dedicates his entire life to playing the part of the most forgettable, mediocre, mob character imaginable. By day, he's the unremarkable son of a minor noble. But by night, he is Shadow, the mysterious leader of a powerful organization called Shadow Garden, which he created based on a story he completely made up. Here's the twist. The evil cult he invented for fun is actually real, and his organization, whose members think he's an all-knowing genius, is now fighting a very real secret war. Sid, totally unaware of this, just thinks everyone is committed to his role-playing game. He is absurdly, terrifyingly powerful, able to unleash magic on a nuclear scale, but he's happiest when he's perfectly executing a mob-style technique to get beaten up in a believable way. He's an Oscar-winning actor who's dedicated his entire life to playing Tree Hash 3 in a school play, and he wants to be the most convincing tree you've ever seen. No one has ever committed to it, the bit harder than Sid. So this is Sid Kaganu, aka Shadow, from the Eminence in Shadow. And there you have it. From characters burdened by their power to those who just love the deception, this trope keeps giving us some of the most epic and hilarious moments in anime. They remind us that true strength isn't just about what you can do, but about having the wisdom and control to know when to do it. It's like knowing you have a royal flush in poker, but choosing to just check. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.